Good evening. I'd like to welcome you here tonight. We're just a couple of minutes away from beginning. If you would invite you to stand, join me in the pledge, and then I'll lead the invocation. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day you've given us. Thank you for the rain today. God, we just ask that our meeting tonight is that you give us direction as we make decisions, that you help each of us in the room, whether we're residents or members of this council or members of the city staff. Lord, that you give us clarity and help us to make the decisions that are pleasing to you. God, we thank you for your grace that helps us through the storms of life. And God, we just ask that those who are hurting tonight, that they know your grace and your presence with them. And we ask these things now in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, I'd like to welcome you again to this regular meeting of the Springdale City Council. This is Tuesday, September 24th, 2019. And we will begin, well, let me first say that, Ashley, do you have the large print? No? Wyman's got them over there. If we do have large print agendas, if that's helpful to anyone, you're welcome to get one. So now I will ask our city clerk to start things off by calling the roll.
Mayor Sprouse.
Here.
Amelia Williams.
Here.
Jeff Watson.
Here.
Mike Overton.
Here.
Colby Fulfer.
Here.
Mike Lawson.
Here.
Rick Evans.
Here.
Brian Powell.
Here.
Kathy Jaycox. Ernest Kate.
Here.
Okay, thank you. I got a text message from Kathy right before I walked in here, and she will be here. She's running a few minutes late, so she'll join us as soon as she can get here. Item 4 is the agenda item that the council sets aside each meeting for comments from our citizens. If we have citizens that would like to address the council, we ask that you come to the microphone, clearly state your name and address, and please keep your comments brief, understanding that the council won't take action on anything you have to say tonight. So if there's anyone that would like to address the council concerning an item that is not already on tonight's agenda, you'd be welcome to come at this time. All right, seeing none, we'll move on to item 5, the approval of minutes. Council, if there are no changes or additions, I'd entertain a motion to approve them as presented.
Second.
Motion, a second, to approve the minutes. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Thank you. Item 6, procedural motions. What's your pleasure, council?
A and B.
All right, we got a motion for A and B. Did we get a second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Powell.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Overton.
Yes.
Fulfer.
Yes.
Lawson.
Yes, ma'am. Carry 7-0.
All right, item 7, Planning Commission report and recommendations by Patsy Christie, Director of Planning and Community Development. Patsy?
The first item is a request to rezone property at 2587 East M Avenue. The request is to rezone that 4.13 acre tract from Agricultural District A1 to Low Medium Density Single Family Residential District SF2. Planning Commission reviewed this request and recommends approval. Title of the ordinance reads an ordinance amending ordinance number 3307, the same being the zoning ordinance of the city of Springdale, Arkansas, and the plat pertaining thereto by rezoning certain lands from Agricultural District A1 to Low Medium Density Single Family Residential District SF2 and declaring an emergency.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Any other questions or comments, council? Before we open it up. Anyone in the audience need to speak to this agenda item? All right, Denise?
Powell.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Overton.
Yes.
Fulfer.
Yes.
Lawson.
Yes, ma'am.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Overton.
Yes.
Fulfer.
Yes.
Lawson.
Yes, ma'am.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Powell.
Both the ordinance emergency clause carry 7-0.
And as we've discussed in the past, these come forward with an emergency clause due to some action that's waiting to happen on each of these pieces of property. The next one is a request to rezone 0.24 acres located on Twin Oaks Drive. You have a parcel number there. It's a little bit confusing about which piece of property is being rezoned. We had some legal description issues that we finally got worked out. What's shown on the screen is actually what's being rezoned with this. The Planning Commission reviewed this request and recommends approval. It is to rezone the property from A1 to C2. The title of the ordinance reads an ordinance amending ordinance number 3307, the same being the zoning ordinance of the City of Springdale, Arkansas, and the plat pertaining thereto by rezoning certain lands from Agricultural District A1 to General Commercial District C2 and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further comment or discussion?
Is there any concern from surrounding property owners?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, there's commercials too, that along Wagon Wheel. It's kind of a real mixture of all kinds of things into that piece of property, going up Twin Oaks Drive. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone in the audience? All right, Denise?
Watson,
Yes.
Overton,
Yes.
Fulfer,
Yes.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans,
Yes, ma'am.
Howe,
Yes.
Williams.
yes,
Second.
Overton,
Yes.
Fulfer,
Yes.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Howe,
Yes.
Williams,
yes,
Watson.
Yes.
Both the ordinance emergency clause carry 7-0.
The next item is request by Elmdale Baptist Church to rezone 3 parcels at 1705, 1707 Ross Avenue, and 1706 Huntsville. It's a total of about 1.07 acres. The request is to rezone the property from low medium density single family residential district SF2 to industrial district P1. Planning Commission reviewed this request and recommends approval of the rezoning.
Industrial, you
Yeah.
meant institutional?
Institutional. Started with an I. That's close.
You did get the P1
I
part.
get the P1 right, yeah. That just goes to show you don't look at the letters in between. You just see what the first one and the last one is. Title of the ordinance reads an ordinance amending ordinance number 3307, the same being the zoning ordinance of the City of Springdale, Arkansas, and the plat pertaining thereto by rezoning certain lands from low, mediums, density, single-family residential districts SF2 to institutional district P1 and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further comments or questions?
Would those still be used as residential even though they're P1 or?
They could be, if they wanted to. They can also be used for classroom space. They can be used for meeting areas. They're not tearing any of the houses down right now.
aren't they currently using those as, at least this one, the
The ones that are
1706?
adjacent to it, they are
They are
using.
using
Yeah,
that,
they
those, yeah.
haven't. I think maybe the 2 on Huntsville they may have been using for classroom space. The 2 off of Ross, I don't know that they've started using those yet. One of them I know was in fairly bad shape that had to have a lot of work done to it. So, but if you look at long-term planning for the church, they don't have any place to grow unless they grow this direction. So it's, yeah.
All right. Anyone in the audience?
Fulfer,
Yes.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Howe,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes,
Watson,
Yes.
Overton,
Yes.
Second. Second.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Howe,
Yes.
Williams.
yes,
Watson,
Yes.
Overton,
Yes.
Fulfer.
Yes.
Both the ordinance emergency clause carry 7-0.
The next item is a request to rezone .56 acres located at 881 Oak Grove Road. The request is to rezone the property from Agricultural District A1 to General Commercial District C2. Planning Commission reviewed the request and recommends approval. Title of the ordinance reads an ordinance amending ordinance number 3307, the same being the zoning ordinance of the City of Springdale, Arkansas, and the plat pertaining thereto, by rezoning certain lands from Agricultural District A1 to General Commercial District C2 and declaring an emergency.
a
Second.
second,
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Any other comments or discussion? Council? Anyone in the audience? All right, Denise?
Evans. Howe,
Yes.
Williams.
yes,
Watson,
Yes.
Overton,
Yes.
Fulfer.
Yes.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Second.
Howe,
Yes.
Williams.
yes,
Watson,
Yes.
Overton,
Yes.
Fulfer.
Yes.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Both the ordinance emergency clause carry 7-0.
The next item is a request for a conditional use for a food truck to be located at 205 East Johnson Avenue. If you'll remember, we had approved a second food truck at this location. It's no longer there. Those conditional uses aren't transferable to another food truck, so this is a different one coming into this location. Planning Commission reviewed this request, recommends approval. Resolution approving a conditional use at 205 East Johnson Avenue is set forth in ordinance number 4030 with the following conditions. May not operate between the hours of 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. The health certificate is required to display the health certificate in a manner visible to customers. No obstruction of pedestrian or motor vehicle traffic flow. No obstruction of traffic signals or regulatory signs. No vending upon a public way. No sound devices that produces loud and raucous noise in violation of the city ordinance or violate any other city ordinances in connection with the vending operation. Sites to remain clean and free of paper or refuse of any kind generated from the operation of the business, with all trash or debris accumulating within 20 feet of any vending stand to be collected and deposited into a trash container.
Really quick, when we discussed this, was there something about having to be on a certain paved?
Yeah, it's in that
Area,
paved
it
area
is in that
behind
paved
back
area.
rack. There's one that's sitting
Yes.
there. It'll sit next to it, just like the second one used to be there
Okay.
before. Yeah.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any other questions, comments? Anyone? Okay, Denise?
Williams,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Overton,
Yes.
Wolfer.
Yes.
Lawson.
Yes, ma'am.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Howe.
Yes.
Carries 7-0. There's a couple of typos in.
I read over one I noticed, just reading through it, so I'll go back and get those fixed. Yeah.
Blast from the past on the signature line, too. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll get those fixed. I didn't have the signature line on mine, but I'll fix the typo that's in the words that are there too. The next item is a resolution approving conditional use for a tandem lot split. This is on the property that we just rezoned to SF2, allows for the existing house to be split off from the remaining tract. Title of the resolution reads, a resolution approving a conditional use at 2587 East M Avenue as set forth in ordinance number 4030, and it's for a tandem lot split.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Any other comments or questions? Anyone?
Watson,
Yes.
Overton.
Yes.
Wolfer.
Yes.
Lawson.
Yes, ma'am.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Howe. Williams.
Yes.
Carries 7-0. Same typo.
Same typo, okay. I'll have to ask Debbie about that, what happened with the signature lines on these. The next request is for a waiver of sidewalks for this house that's being constructed that backs up to Highway 112. It would be waiving the sidewalk that's along the 112 portion of the lot. They will build the sidewalk, as you can see, along the La Scala Avenue. In our request and working with the Highway Department on the Highway 112 project, we have requested that a 12-foot side path be put on this side of 112 all the way through there. We're assuming the design is going to go that way, so the Planning Commission is recommending that this waiver of sidewalk be approved. Title of the resolution reads, a resolution approving a waiver of street improvements, drainage, curbs, gutter, and sidewalk as set forth in ordinance number 3725 to Da Vinci Construction Incorporated in connection with 8327 La Scala, a single-family dwelling.
But this just grants the waiver on the backside, right?
Just on the 112 portion of it. They'll build the one on the street side,
Right.
only on that portion along 112.
Okay.
Makes sense, but the house that's already there, did they already?
Yes, they
do
got
this?
one. They got one already too. We talked about maybe we just need to do the whole subdivision instead of
that's-
having
that
to
was
come
gonna
back
be my
one at
next
a time. Yeah. Not knowing exactly where 112 is going to go through, even if it doesn't back up to it, I don't know that there's a need for. In anything I've seen, this hasn't shifted a lot. When you go further to the north, there's a little bit more of a shift, but I don't think this portion of it's going to shift. We should get a 12-foot side path on this portion of it here.
Second that.
Motion, a second. Any further comments or questions? All right, anyone? Denise?
Overton.
Yes.
Wolfer.
Yes.
Lawson.
Yes, ma'am.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Howe.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Carries 7-0.
All right, item 8, Finance Committee report and recommendations. Chairman Jeff Watson. Jeff?
Finance Committee met last Monday night, there were only two items that we discussed having to do with levying the ad valorem property taxes for Benton County and for Washington County. This is an issue that we deal with every year about this time of year. It's my understanding that this is basically the same as it was last year. There's no change. The resolution was approved by both resolutions actually were approved by the committee and forwarded to the council with a recommendation for approval. The title to the Benton County resolution, the first one reads, "A resolution to levy Benton County ad valorem taxes of the city of Springdale, Arkansas."
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Just for people watching or who may not be familiar with this is something we have to do every year. And in fact, there was one city in northwest Arkansas that didn't do it, and wasn't pretty. So this is something we need to do every year. As Jeff said, there's no changes to the tax rate. So any other comments? Okay, Denise.
Fulfer,
Yes.
Lawson.
Yes, ma'am.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Powell.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Overton.
Yes.
The second resolution has to do with the levying of the Washington County ad valorem taxes, and the title to that resolution reads, "A resolution to levy Washington County ad valorem taxes of the city of Springdale, Arkansas."
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further comments or questions from anyone? Okay, Denise.
Lawson.
Yes, ma'am.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Powell.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Overton.
Yes.
Fulfer.
Yes.
Carries 7-0.
All right, item 9, Police and Fire Committee report and recommendations. Chairman Amelia Williams. Amelia?
Committee met, considered item number 9, a resolution authorizing the execution and architect contract for fire department training facility, project number 18BPF6, with a forwarded to council with recommendation for approval.
All right, thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Any other questions or comments?
Being paid for through the bond program that was passed.
Paid out of the fire bond. This is one of the projects that we, if you'll remember, I think 2 weeks ago, we approved the construction management firm, and now we've got the proposed contract with the architect, so, for our training center. All right, Denise?
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Powell.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Overton.
Yes.
Fulfer.
Yes.
Lawson.
Yes, ma'am. Carries 7-0.
All right, item 10, Health, Sanitation, and Property Maintenance Committee report and recommendations. Chairman Brian Powell. Brian?
Thank you, Mayor. We have a couple of ordinances here for debris cleanup. The first one would be 10A, an ordinance authorizing the city clerk to file a cleanup lien for removal of overgrown brush and debris on property located within the city of Springdale, Benton County, Arkansas, 2901 Rowan Place.
Okay.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to adopt the ordinance. Anyone need to speak to this property before we vote? Any questions of council? Okay, Denise?
Powell.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Overton.
Yes.
Fulfer.
Yes.
Lawson.
Yes, ma'am.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Williams.
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Overton.
Yes.
Fulfer.
Yes.
Lawson.
Yes, ma'am.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Powell.
Both the ordinance emergency clause carry 7-0.
10B, we have an ordinance authorizing the city clerk to file a cleanup lien for the removal of overgrown brush and debris on property located within the city of Springdale, Arkansas, 1500 Carlton, here in Springdale. .403 South Cleveland Street.
Second.
motion and a second. Anyone in the audience need to speak to these properties? Any of these properties? Okay, Denise?
Watson,
Yes.
Overton,
Yes.
Wolfer,
Yes.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Powell,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Second.
Overton,
Yes.
Wolfer,
Yes.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Powell,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Both the ordinance emergency clause carries 7-0.
Okay, thank you. Item 11, Street and CIP Report and Recommendations by Chairman Rick Evans. Rick? Okay.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? Okay, Denise?
Wolfer,
Yes.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans,
Yes, ma'am.
Powell,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Overton.
Yes. Carries 7-0.
All right, item 12. I'm going to turn this one over to Ernest. Good news here, but I'm going to let Ernest read this.
This is a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a donation agreement with ATM Leaseback for property owned by Bank of America National Association. This has to do with the property that Bank of America currently owns, the old Bank of America branch on Meadow there at the railroad tracks. And they're donating, Patsy might want to speak to this, but they're donating property to the city, but they're also reserving a ATM leaseback agreement where they're going to maintain an ATM on the property.
Yeah, Patsy's really worked hard on this for a while with Bank of America, and we first thought we were going to have to pay to relocate their ATM, but that's not part of this agreement. We don't have to do that now. We just need to give them space. This will be a great location. I think the initial thoughts, and it hasn't been finalized, but I think it's a good plan, is to this could be a great possible location for a permanent location for our farmers market in downtown. Also, it comes with some acreage behind it, some really nice second growth woods that could also be a nice little green area and park area. So we're appreciative of this offer, and we just need to pass this resolution to be able to accept it.
So, Mayor, there's not any agreement, at least I didn't see it.
Agreement was how many pages?
Like 98 pages.
Okay, so basically all I'm asking is, what are we leasing back, the entire building there, or? No?
Just a pedestal area.
Space where they could relocate their ATM.
Oh, okay. And would that be closer to Meadow, or do you know?
That will, yes, it'll access off of Meadow. It'll be up against the Meadow.
Yeah, they have submitted a site plan to show where they're going to relocate it. It will pull directly off of Meadow Street in that first driveway that goes in there between the driveways, allow for stacking of a couple of cars, and so we will be leasing back that piece of property to them. They'll be paying to relocate. I think they intend to take the ATM that's there and move it over there. It's very possible we could get a whole new one because they don't want to shut it down. We cannot actually occupy the building itself until the ATM is moved because all the controls and all that stuff is in there. So once this has gone through, then we'll work out the agreement to get the ATM
timing.
removed. Yeah.
Okay.
Then the building to be removed?
No, the building stays. It has bathrooms in it, so if we want to have a farmer's market, we'd have a place
yeah.
for a farmer's market. We would have some storage if we want to keep, tables and chairs or anything to use that as a site. So it gives us, and it may be, there may be enough office space that maybe the DSA or some other organization could move into it. I don't know about you, but I haven't been in that building in a long time, so I don't remember how big it is and how it's laid out. Should have a vault in it too, so we'll have a secure place to put something too, so.
Put your money in there.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, Mayor, you can put all your cash in there,
Yeah.
so no problem.
Okay, thanks, Patsy. Any other questions or comments?
Move resolution pass.
Second.
All right.
Lawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Powell,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Overton,
Yes.
Wolfer.
Yes.
Carries 7-0.
Yes, you may.
I just have one regret in all that time because Walter Turnbow is really the one that started all the work working with Bank of America and made a lot of phone calls and stuff. And a couple of weeks before he died, I went to visit him and he kept asking me, well, where are we? And I told him, I said, we're this close. And he looked at me in his usual fashion. He said, well, that's not close enough. And I just wish I'd have had all this information before he died so I could have told him we got it done. But I think he knows.
Oh, yeah.
But he really pushed hard to get this done for many, many years. And I'd get a call from him about every 2 or 3 weeks to see where we are. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Patsy. All right, item 13 is a resolution. I'll go ahead and read it. Wyman can come if we have any questions. Authorizing a grant of a water sewer easement to the Springdale Water and Sewer Commission across property owned by the City of Springdale. Water and Sewer Commission across, well, that's in there twice. It's owned by the City of Springdale, Benton County, Arkansas. So did I read that good enough, well enough? This is across Shaw Family Park, and it is an easement. You've got a map of it there. So entertain a motion to approve that resolution.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? All right, Denise?
Evans,
Yes, ma'am.
Powell,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Overton.
Yes.
Wolfer.
Yes.
Lawson.
Yes, ma'am.
7-0.
All right, thank you. Item 14, any comments from department heads? Ron, as you're taking a drink of water. I thought of this when we were doing the liens. Can you share just that brief comment you made in department head meeting this morning about number of properties addressed? I know, I apologize for putting you on the spot. But
This morning, I was telling the mayor that last year at this time, or this year at this time, we've addressed about 2,200 more properties this year than we did last year. So
Yeah.
y'all might be getting a few more calls and complaints, but we're
No,
trying to keep them down.
Actually, you must be y'all are working real well, because I don't know about you all, but I'm
But
sure not getting many.
I'll get those numbers at the end of the year, and we'll get you the final numbers at the end of the year. So
Good deal. And this is of course, this is in a summer where grass never stopped or slowed down, so.
that's right.
Y'all are.
A couple of weeks ago, sand looked pretty good.
Yeah. Y'all are doing a great job. Thanks, Ron. Yes, sir. Any comments from the council? City attorney?
No, sir.
Nothing from me, but item 18, I had them put on there just so we wouldn't forget. Our next scheduled committee meeting date would be a night before our next council meeting. It's normal practice that y'all like to move that back, which would put the committee meeting next week, next Monday. Is that what y'all want to do, or? All right?
We used to meet 15 minutes before the council meeting.
Yeah. All right, that's what we'll do. Our next committee meeting will be next Monday night.
Move we adjourn.
They better call Kathy and tell her to turn around.
Yeah. All right, we have a motion to adjourn. We get a second? We're adjourned. Thank you.
She'll walk in.